A little while ago, we did a tabletop overview of the Henry H009 in 3030 Winchester. This particular one has a color case hardened receiver and a side gate loading mechanism, as well as a tube loading mechanism. So the proof was in the pudding. How does it shoot? Well, that's the subject of today's video. We're going to see just exactly how it shoots. We're going to go to the range today and take a number of shots from 50 yards. Things I really like about this, as I mentioned before, was the generous buckhorn sight. It is adjustable. It does have the ability to accommodate a scope mount as well. It's a beautiful gun. We're going to take a look at it and see how she functions on the Dr. Drake 63 channel. So the Henry is not only a darn good looking rifle, but it's also a lot of fun to shoot. We're going to see that here in the videos in a moment. But as you saw with my previous video where we did the tabletop overview and we took a real good close look at the craftsmanship and the attention to detail, this is a very, very nicely built 3030. I'm comparing this to some of the older Marlins and some of the finer, say, pre-64 Winchesters and things like that. Just everything about it was gone over, and that's what I really like about any kind of firearm, especially when you're spending your hard-earned dollars on it. Now, the thing about the 3030 is, without a straight wall cartridge, you end up getting a little bit of what I'll call a looseness in the cycling. And what I mean by that is there's that part right about here where the front of the bullet is attempting to find the chamber, and there's no getting around that with that cartridge. You'll notice that the length of the neck down portion of the case and the bullet can create a little bit more of a challenge that doesn't exist with a straight wall cartridge. If you're shooting a 22, if you're shooting a 357 Magnum, a 44, 38, some of the other pistol calibers, you'll notice that the cycling is a lot smoother because everything goes straight in. And again, with the 3030, you've got that tapered neck down kind of feature, and I've never shot a 3030 that didn't have a little bit of that. What that cartridge does is it tends to lend itself to kind of hanging up when you're cycling it, and I noticed that that was minimized with this Henry, so that's kind of nice. The other thing I liked about it is at the range, when I was loading the full magazine, I found it was a little bit quicker just to take the tube out and load it that way as opposed to through the side gate, although I've always been a guy that's used to using the side gate. So the trigger is previously reported very smooth, very much like the pull and everything about how that works. So I have to give this high marks. Let's take a look at how this did at the range. So we're using Remington core locked here, and when we're done with that, we're going to see how it does with this Hornady. From a cycling perspective, just noticed right off the bat, very smooth. Ejection is consistent, and that's what I look for in 30-30 lever action every time. So I was very pleased with how this rifle performed. So these four you see up top are the Hornady, and down below that's a leftover, a couple of them are leftover core locks, but these four are the Hornady. So I'm definitely, from that position, I'm minute of deer standing. Fire at will.
Fire at will.
Let's see how you did.
Okay.
So you found the bullseye. Also kind of crowded them in there a little bit, but you can definitely see with either a scope or just really getting used to that sight picture where this is an accurate firearm. All of these would have taken that deer, and that's what it's for, isn't it, guys? Now there's a lot of guys that want to go ahead and take advantage of these pre-drilled scope mounts and put a scope on a 30-30. And I absolutely understand why you'd want to do that. If I wanted to see what the absolute accuracy capability of this rifle was, I would do that myself. But I'm always going to use a lever action rifle at the kind of distances where I can still, at my age, get a very nice sight picture with buckhorn or open sights. And so that's my preference to do that. And that's just a personal preference. I know guys that their whole life have always put a scope on a 30-30. But in my case, I'm not. My idea of accuracy is hitting an 8-inch circle at whatever distance I'm shooting a hunting rifle at. If I can put them in an 8-inch circle, I'm always going to be able to do what I need to do in terms of bringing down a deer. And that doesn't matter if we're talking a firearm like this at 50 or 75, 100 yards, or if I'm talking about shooting something like a 270 Winchester or something like that out to 300. As long as I can consistently hit an 8-inch circle, even more ideally a 6-inch circle, then I'm going to be satisfied with how that works. You notice that most of the shots we took today were standing and freehand, and that's just how I like to shoot these rifles. It's a great shooting gun. I think the lever is going to continue to smooth out with use, and everything about it is good. I give this a big thumbs up. How does this compare, say, to modern day, say a Winchester 94 and 30-30, or your Marlins the last, say, 15 years? I would have to put this above both of them just in terms of shootability as well as cycling and things like that. So I'm going to probably draw some ire for some folks that that would disagree, but that's just me. I think the 30-30 is still a great cartridge. It's going to do what you need to do inside 100 yards typically for deer. Sitting in a tree stand or in a blind, those type of wood shots, you're certainly not going to typically get past that. So thumbs up all the way, and I want to thank you for joining me as always. This is Dr. Drake 63 saying take care, guys, stay safe, and we'll see you real soon.